Welcome to the live stream, yet another one after more than 1 week break. Thank you all for being here. And today's topic, buying a car in Japan. And we did buy one. It's not the one in the screenshot, but it's a similar one. It's also a Nissan. It's also a Kei car, which means like a small car, essentially. It's a Japanese car. The taxation is a little bit different. And so my wife wanted a new car, and I said, no way, that's a waste of money. So she said, I don't want a car anybody else has ever used. So we went to the used car guy, and there's some differentiation there. There's like Chukosha, which is an old car or used car, and then there's Shinkosha, which is a used car that is new. If that makes sense, probably not. And this means essentially the car was, for example, on display somewhere, or they just couldn't sell it or so on. And then they take it from their like new car dealership to the other side of the road where there's the used car dealership, and then you get it like $2,000 cheaper. So the car we now got was one of these. It has like 7 kilometers. So it's essentially new. But of course, you don't get as many customizations and so on. And the process is, as you would expect, you go there and then you talk to them, and they tell you how much it would be and how much it would be with certain extras if you want that, and then you purchase it. What a surprise. Now, what's maybe special is you have to go to your town hall or kuyakusho, the ward hall, and get something like a certificate of residence so that they actually know that you live where you claim you live. Then you have to go to either the police by yourself or to your landlord, who will then send a letter to the police stating that you live in this place and it has sufficient parking area. If it's not doing the landlord, then probably this company in between the landlord and you. And then you wait a little bit until the car is actually like equipped the way you want it, and then you get it. And we are currently in this waiting period. We still have our old car, we will sell it, and then we get the new one. So the old car will sell for 109 mang. That's like what's that? 1,090,000 yen, which is about $10,000, $11,000. And then we still pay like another 12,000 or something for the new car. Personally, I probably won't use it as much as my wife. I think I do want a second car just for me, so I can go somewhere and film stuff a little bit like faster and farther away than I am able now with my bike. But I also realized that it doesn't make sense so much. And if then I would probably get a really small car, which is like super used for like not $20,000, but just $2,000, and have that for me. But if and when that's gonna happen is not clear. So that was the background. Now, I didn't have dinner yet, so I have something here. I hope you don't mind me eating. It's a bento, which is like a lunch or dinner box, for 253 yen. As you can see, it was 321 yen, and now it's only 253 because it was already like closer to closing the stores now. What a bargain. And I also have blueberries, which cost actually more than this bento box, $3. And this one, so this is like $2.50, and the blueberries are $3. That's how it is in Japan. And this is accommodated by a Sapporo beer, which I will open later. So the last time I drank beer was, I think, probably also on a live stream. Maybe, I don't know, 2 months ago or so. This is next time. So if I start sounding drunk, it's because I am. So now let's see what you wrote. Let's go. Interesting. Drift video when? Yes. Certainly. My wife will love it when they take our new car and go drifting with it. Drifting a K car sounds impossible. It sounds impossible, yes. But as the next one, Ranko1223 says, you should check PVC drifting. Totally doable in a K car. Well then. How do you do that? For drifting, you use the handbrake, right? And then you go, maybe. I don't know. Never done it, but well. Certainly there's opportunity to drift in Japan. So maybe one day if the opportunity arises, I don't even know if that's, I mean, there are mountains here and like slopes, serpentines, that's the word. And so I guess drifting might exist here. But that's sort of cheating. Is it easy to get a part-time job in Japan? I don't actually know. I never had one, but I think so, because there are a lot of places like convenience stores or flower shops or like restaurants and so on that sometimes just have a sign outside saying part-time, searching for part-time. So I think so, probably. The thing is, if you're not Japanese and you need a visa, then you need a visa that allows work. And for example, if you are a student, you come on student visa, then you can get extra permission to do that up to 28 hours per week, I think. But if you don't come as a student, or another option would be what was that? Cultural, I forgot the name of the visa. But essentially you come here to study some cultural aspect, like a martial art or something different, art thing, cultural. And then you can also apply for this permission, also 28 hours, and also have the part-time job. Wife, I want a new car. Husband, no way. So they got a new car. Yes, that's how we argue. Let's be realistic. It's not a new car. It's a used new car. No, it's not used. It's an old used car. It's an old new car. So that's... What if landlord says nope? No, it's not about them saying nope, I think. It's about them saying... Yeah, I mean, I could say there's nothing, I guess. Could they, though? I'm not sure. John is here. John, good to have you here. Thanks for the continued support, as always. Can possibly be worse taxes than Denmark. 150% tax on a new car, so we pay 2.5 times the price. Oh my God. That's certainly not the case here. I don't know, actually, taxes. I mean, sales tax, probably 10%. And then they said there will be a new tax just for cars, maybe just for new cars from April, which is another % or something like that. So it's not super pricey. And the taxation during the year, I forgot. I think for insurance and tax might be like $2,500 a year or so. So it's not the cheapest, like $200 a month, but also not super expensive. Hey there. Hey, Adelina. Seems both pretty cheap, the old and the new bento price. Yes, it is. It is. It's also nothing special. So there's like 4 meatballs, a slice of squash, and rice. That's like not the word. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you, Dreamy Senpai, and thank you for being here, even before the stream started. Yeah, and of course also Alminox. I don't know how to pronounce it. Good to have you here. Police also sometimes check the parking space. Yes, that's correct, says Stephen. Stephen probably knows more about how to buy a car in Japan than I do, because for me, I have the assistance of my wife, so she actually does a lot of that, and I just get annoyed because it takes so long. Do you have to pay taxes for your car every year in Japan? Yes, you have to. There are surprisingly many public racing drift tracks in Japan. While still an expensive hobby, it's far more viable than in Europe, at least. Interesting. I've never done it, so it might be interesting. Albeit, I might be nervous. I hope you don't mind me putting on my glasses, because I ran out of contact lenses. When you've been studying Japanese for years and all you can say is sumimasen. Yes, that's the. I actually met such a person. I was like, no way. Once on the plane, I came to Japan, and he also came with his wife and kid. And he told me he was an English teacher in Chiba, and his Japanese was really bad. And I thought he was like doing the Japanese thing where you say your Japanese is really bad, but it's actually quite okay, and maybe not perfect. But I think he just didn't speak any. That was so surprising. He asked me where I go. I said Nagano, and he said, "Oh, Nagano," or something with a really strong, very American maybe accent or British. And then I thought, oh, maybe he really doesn't speak Japanese that well. It's crazy how so many people who don't know much Japanese living in Japan for years on end doing pretty well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know a couple of people. I mean, my Japanese also not the best, but it's at least I can, do what I need to do. And some people really don't almost speak nothing. They just, like as you said, can say sumimasen, and then that's it. I mean, I must say though, my situation is my wife's Japanese, speaks only Japanese essentially, so that's kind of, if you want to talk to your wife, which might be a good idea, then you should speak Japanese. Is cowning expensive in Japan? I think it's expensive anywhere, but I can't really compare it because it's actually it will be the first car I ever own. So I don't know. I guess it might be cheaper than in where you live, but maybe not. I have no idea. How are you and your family? Yeah, good. So tomorrow is a public holiday, but I work. So my family is actually not here. They are with my mother-in-law because it's more fun for them there. They can do something tomorrow, and with me, I'll just be here and working. Prepare to spend $4 signs if drifting becomes a hobby. They usually spend minimum 2 sets of tires per track day. Oh my God, that sounds super expensive. If the landlord says no, or your house doesn't have parking, there are many rental spaces. Yeah, that's correct. Maybe not so much in Nagano though. I mean, Tokyo area and so on. Yeah, definitely. Here, yeah, probably. But I guess also here it's not that much of an issue because it's much more space here. I've seen publicity in the last few days about the Dorozoku road tribe map, which shows the location of people making a lot of noise. Interesting. Are you or the kids featured on it yet? Yeah, maybe not yet. We have nice neighbors, but maybe they're just nice. Just acting to be nice, and in reality they enter us on the Dorozoku map. If you want to talk to your wife, which might be a good idea, clever fellow, this one, exactly, yes. Totally underappreciated advice. If you have issues with somebody, talk to them. For example, your wife or your coworker. But I also think that, I mean, sounds obvious, but it's not uncommon for people in Japan to not speak to their wife if they are in a relationship for a little longer. People who have great salary, do they use public transportation or car? Yes, both. So I know people that are doing really, really well, and they use whatever they need. The issue, of course, is often the parking then at the work, if they can get that. And if it's in central Tokyo, then it might be super expensive. Like, how much was that? I don't remember exactly, but I think just a day in Roppongi or so is like $200 or $250 or so. So it's really, really pricey. And it might not even be faster. So some do, and I mean, and some maybe just live in a really good position close to their work, and then they don't have to transport anymore. Kumamon Kumamoto, good to have you here. I don't have to worry about talking to my Japanese wife. My Japanese wife usually tells me how I feel about things. Sounds like a great relationship. So I have a quick bite here. Please excuse me. You didn't arrive too late. Different games, just 15 minutes in, not even 15 minutes in. So, and I'm just eating, and we are talking about cars still, and about the concept of talking to your wife, which might be a good idea. Where's the drifting seat in Japan, left or right? The driving seat in Japan, left or right? What about in Germany? In Japan, we'll drive on the left, so it's on the right. Right? Yeah, and in Germany, it's the other way around. How to start a conversation with Japanese? Yeah, talking to them. So I'm not a super outgoing person, but if you go somewhere and sit on at the bar also, so usually if you go to an izakaya or so, there might be closed rooms, and that's obviously pretty hard to do then. But if there's a counter and you sit there, then you eat or drink and maybe look at people. And then if they actually make eye contact, that essentially means you can talk to them. I mean, that's maybe a generalization, but in Japan, eye contact isn't so common. So if they actually accept that, then you might be okay to do that. What's your take on K cars? Are they really worth it? I like K car. So our car is a K car, the one we have, the one we use, the one we bought. And yeah, I think I like them. I mean, I don't need to go faster than what they are capable of, and it's not allowed anyway. So totally fine. And some of them are not. So there are some turbo versions, and they are kind of okay. And then there are the ones that are not turbo, and they might be a little bit. They might feel like they stop working when you go too uphill. Too many people in the car. But other than that, yeah, it's totally fine, I think. Yeah, and they are so spacious inside, it's unbelievable. And most of them, they have this almost box-like form, and they have like really a lot of headspace. And when I was test driving our car, I also sat in the back to see what it would like, for kids. And it felt like I'm in a really big car. So leg space, amazing, way more than in any airplane. Until you look back and you see like, oh, there's only like so much left of the trunk. Since they're a bit narrow, are they safe if an accident occurs? Yeah, that's also my concern. I guess the bigger cars are safer, just because like physics, right? Keiji Dosha are great cars, roomy and gets you there, but you measure acceleration in ice ages. Yes, but I mean, do you need to? I mean, if you want to accelerate fast, then you probably shouldn't get a K car, but an electric car or like a hybrid car that uses electricity for accelerating. Do Japanese learn German in school? No. But in university, there might be a German club. So one of my previous boss, he actually learned German in university. And I think also a couple of friends of my wife. But usually what they remember is like Guten Tag or something, like good day, but nothing. Yeah. The one thing I can never get used to is the television and dashboard. Yes. Oh yeah, this reminds me. Konbanwa, Pikio. This reminds me of something bad that happened 2 weeks ago. So the TV in the car, it's there, yes. I never use it because I don't watch a lot of TV, and when the kids are there, I definitely don't do that. But some people do it, and it's essentially the car stops and TV can go on. And if it moves again, then it can't. Also, you cannot, I think, operate your navigation system when driving, when it's moving and so on. But the bad news is NHK. So NHK is like, if somebody rings your door and you see it usually in Japanese houses, or the new ones have a monitor, and you see, okay, this is not the guy from Amazon. It's not the guy from the Japan Post. Probably it's NHK, and what they want is talk to you and see if you have a TV. But because if you have to pay a yearly fee, like $150 or $250, depending on your equipment. And if you have a car that's capable of having a TV, then you also have to pay. Or if you have a phone that's capable of doing it, or computer. For example, on Apple, I use Apple, doesn't. Or my phone, from China also doesn't. But if it was a Japanese phone, then it would be capable, and I had to pay. And previously, we lived in an apartment, essentially. And if they ring, we just don't open. But now we're in this house, and they see the light is on, somebody's there. So if they ring, it's like harder. And they also see there's a car in the parking space, and it's only one house it belongs to. So probably. And then recently, like 2 weeks ago or so, my wife opened for the NHK guy, and now we have to pay. It's just like, Sanin. My tandem partner learned German from a private teacher. Excellent. And I've never done language tandem. Then it's kind of surreal to see a German sentence and the whole sentence again in katakana. Yes, katakana in German. That's something I absolutely hate. I wouldn't say hate. Yeah, maybe hate. So, wait a second. My wife also has like these books where it's like in katakana, and it's just not right. So, oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. Just a second. It's just not right. So it sounds completely different, and it's the same thing if you don't read kana from the beginning, but read it, for example, in German, because then Germans, for example, in Romaji, so the Latin alphabet used to describe Japanese kana or Japanese, then it has things like oh, right? No problem, right? Problem. So because German has a stress accent, which means we might not say oh, we might say oh. So if you see the mouth, Japanese may be closer to oh, and German to o. So it's mouth position different. O becomes longer. That might make it a different word in Japanese, actually. And then you take it with you just because you had seen it in Romaji in the beginning and so on. And at one point you realize it's off and you have to correct yourself, and it takes forever. And same way, the other way around. So I don't like German being written in Japanese syllables because it's wrong. Kanji yomimasu ka? Yes. No, I can't read kanji. The last video was a masterpiece. How long did it take you to edit that video? Thank you, Dreamy Senpai. Thank you. And tandem partner as in tandem bike, as in language learning and exchanging. It took me, so editing, I don't know, it wasn't so long. The shooting obviously takes a lot of time because I have to take the different shots, essentially do the same scene over and over and over so that I have it from every angle I need it. And then, editing, I don't know, it was nothing out of the ordinary, maybe 3 days or so. Tandem partners are language learning partners. For some reason, they are called that. Yes, Daniel is not here today. Hope he's doing well. Oh, yes, Daniel. Where I live in Georgia, it's common that people order Japanese right-wheel cars, even though in Georgia there are left-wheel laws. Steering wheel. Have you seen left-wheel cars in Japan? I have. Maybe not a lot, maybe twice or so. Or I realized it twice or so. I think one was maybe a Chevy, and the other I forgot. But yeah, it exists. I guess it's special. It's not ordinary, but it happens. Importing a car, getting the permission, and there you go. Does your wife bother you if you watch TV when driving? Because I remember from a previous stream you said she didn't like that you drove listening to music. I know, actually it's the other way around. I don't like driving listening to music. She does. And my kids also like that, because especially the older one. And then the older one complains. And my wife has to explain, when daddy's here, we don't listen to music. I do, though, if it's like a longer drive or it's at night or so, just to keep like a little bit, stay awake. So Japan's NHK sounds a bit like how GEZ worked in Germany like 10 years ago. Yeah, it's pretty similar. essentially somebody comes here and knocks your door and wants your money. But I think the Japanese version is much more polite. So in Germany, it was like not. Yeah, it was a little bit unpleasant, I think. How does umlaut work in Kana? Yeah, not so well. For example, Dankeschön would be Dankeschön. So in German, the sound umlaut is the sound where you have a vowel and then the two dots on top. And then, for example, O becomes an Ö, and so on. And it's already pretty hard to differentiate, usually for Japanese natives. And then if you add it in Kana, it's like makes it even worse, probably, or not, doesn't help, at least. I think they just take the next best thing that could substitute an umlaut. Yeah, exactly. I guess it always depends on the word. Okay, wait. Imagine understanding. Line breaks. Imagine understanding good Japanese. Yes. Excellent. Imagine understanding Japanese. Excellent. Okay, my bad. Do you read Japanese literature? No, actually I don't. I do read manga sometimes. If that counts. I started reading Harry Potter. But that's not Japanese. In Japanese though. And I had to look up a lot, so then I became demotivated. I probably still need like a little bit of lower level still, and then get there over time, or just brute force myself through it when I have the energy. I'm just thinking that some sound simply doesn't exist in Japanese. Kana, example, it could be töten, which means to kill. What an excellent word. Yeah, so in Japanese, töten, täten, töten. Yeah, I don't know. The questions may be a bit off from the car theme. No worries at all. I'm actually not a car guy, but we just happened to purchase one. But do you sleep more in a traditional Western bed or on a futon? On a futon, actually. And that's, I think, historically. So we had a bed, which we got from my brother-in-law, just a little bit small, but so it was just the two of us. And then we got a kid. And if you have a small kid, you get afraid it falls out of the bed if you have it in the bed. We had it in a separate bed, like a crib thing. But then it cries, you take it out. And then it's just like, yeah, have it in the bed. But it falls out of the bed, so we started sleeping on futon on the floor. And we had the futon also in the living room, actually, because that's where we had tatami. And so then you don't want your bed in the living room, right? So then we put them away every day. And we still have futon now, but we have a dedicated room for it. So we wouldn't actually need it, but still the kids are small and like to move when they sleep. So it's kind of okay. Maybe one day when we're old and broken, I mean, our bodies are broken and we have trouble getting up or down, maybe we'll get a bed again. But I don't like soft mattresses and so on. So futon is good for me. That's about that. Oh, yeah. I need to open this now because before it gets warm. Oof. Okay, now I need a tissue. Today was super warm here. It said, I think 22 or something. 26 inside of this room without heating, which is terrible because in summer it will be 50 or something Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. But it's gonna be hard. Also, coming back to the video, who was it? Dreamy Senpai or something? Yes, Dreamy Senpai said he liked it a lot, so really appreciate it. Actually, I'm really happy with how it was received. So lots of positive comments, maybe 70 or so. And it's still getting like 200 views a day, which is out of the ordinary. So it's not, yeah, it has like 2,200 views right now, but it's still getting 200 a day. So like in 10 days, it might have 4,000 views and so on. So it's really nice. And view time is also not so bad, which is actually more important. Yeah. However, 4 people downvoted, disliked it. Can you believe it? But still, very nice. A futon was uncomfortable in the beginning, but my back is so much better after getting used to it compared to my Western bed. Yeah, I can absolutely imagine that. Like if I now sleep on something soft, it's nice in the beginning, like wow. And then when I get up in the morning, it's like, oh God. Is it cold to sleep on the futon on the floor in the winter? It depends on where you are. So we're on the first floor, which means the heat comes up, and we also have the tatami mats. So it's kind of okay, I think. Never have a problem with soft beds in Japan. Yeah, for me. So if I go to Tokyo for work, to the office, then half of the time or so I stay overnight. Yeah, it's not. I don't like it because I think it's kind of unusual or not so common to have a business hotel with futon and tatami. So it's usually a bed, and I don't like it. And I went. Maybe some of you have seen 3-4 years ago. I made a comparison of a $50 versus a, I think, like $250 hotel in Tokyo. And when I went to the office, like one of the first times, I went to this $50 hotel again, and then I decided I won't go there again. It's like, yeah, it's enough. Has been enough. It's like it's a $50 hotel in Tokyo, so it's really minimalist, to say it positively. And now I search like just a little bit more, and usually because it's during the week, I find something close, like $60 maybe, and then it has like an onsen on the roof and so on. The use of subtle sound effects in the previous video really made me laugh. Do you mean when I ate? I ate it, and I knew it was crunchy right when I ate it at toast. And I thought, okay, no, I need that. I mean, what was it before? I ate fruits. There also was a sound effect. Maybe, I think there was actually subtle. And then when I ate the toast, it was like way over the top. I already pulled it down like a lot, like maybe 12 decibel or something. But still, apparently, Aminox spotted it. I think he even mentioned it in at the premiere. Was just checking, and 13,600 yen, around 105 euros, mandatory fee per year for NHK. No wonder it's unpopular. Well, wait until you hear the best part. If you have a satellite antenna, as this house has, we don't use it, but it has it, then you have to pay another 10,000 yen. So we pay like almost $250 for nothing because we don't watch NHK. But that's the rule, so it's also like, yeah, whatever. Then I mean, a complete side note, but I really love the way these chats organically develop and go all over the place. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I try to find some kind of topic so that doesn't just say live stream, and then people actually think like maybe that's a topic that interests me, and then they get their payoff in the beginning, and then everybody else can kind of jump on the bandwagon and talk about whatever they want. Good night to you too, Rimi Senpai. Thank you for joining. Take care and also stay safe. I'm a student. Can you mention cheap prices for futon? Oh, I don't know. Of course, there's different quality. So the one I had first and pretty long was pretty thin and pretty uncomfortable. And now we have like my mother-in-law gave us one, I think. So again, I don't know. I would just go to some store, Nitori or something. Do they have futons? And check. I mean, you can probably buy them used, but I'm not sure if you want that. Like most likely on somebody, sweating and so on. Or whatever you do on a futon. So, or just go on Rakuten and then buy something for $40 dollars. Have you ever seen Akira Kurosawa's movies? I think I have seen only Seven Samurai like 5 times, and then just like parts of others. I was thinking about switching to a futon since I found it troubling to sleep on a Western bed. since I like harder mattresses. Since you have a futon, could you may give an advice for looking after? No, actually not. Because I don't know what you want or what you feel comfortable with, how hard and so on. Personally, I would try to get real tatami mats for under the futon. Just make sure you put the futon away, put it outside, give it air to breathe and so on, so it doesn't, what's the word, fungus or something like that. But I don't know what makes a good futon or what I probably have to try. And depending where you are, maybe you don't actually have the option to try anyway, so then it's just a matter of luck. Back when we lived in Germany, I actually tried to find like a king-size futon, but I didn't. Because what we did back then, we bought tatami on eBay. Kleinanzeigen it's called. It's like not eBay, but like a flea market eBay. And we bought tatami there for a pretty good price. It was like 140 euros for maybe 6, 7, 8 square meters, so pretty nice. But then we had our like cheap Aldi or Lidl or something, like cheap supermarket mattress on top. So I wanted a futon, but I didn't find a good one. Rip wallet. Yeah. I mean, if you're living in Japan, I guess it might be easier to get it. But other than that, maybe you can look on eBay or something, or maybe Amazon. Did you have to get a Japanese driver's license? Yes. Right. I can show you. A second. I have to cover some numbers. Still my old address, so that's good. Maybe like this. So it's the driver's license. And I didn't have to take a test because I have the German driver's license, which means I go to and get a translation. And with this translation already, I can drive in Japan for 1 year. And then, I take this translation to the police here, or driver's license center or whatever. And then I have to take an eye test and pay, and then I get a license, essentially. In a nutshell. It's a little bit more complicated, actually. You need an appointment. We went there without first, and then they said no. And you need to prove that you have been in the country you got the license from for at least 3 months before moving to Japan, which was a tough one because I got a new passport before moving, which meant I couldn't prove it. So then when I went back to Germany, I got my old passport, and then I could thankfully prove it and got this one. Gets moldy. Ah, yeah, mold. That's the word. Floor is always an option. Yeah, definitely. Not a good option, but an option. Well, I mean, you get used to it, definitely. My options are limited in Germany, mostly online. So greetings from Germany. Ah, I see. From Germany. Yeah, I bought mine in Munich at like I said, my tatami from eBay Kleinanzeigen. It was a great deal. And now my family still uses some of them, but others got moldy, actually, because, you have to take the mattress away every now and then. Yeah. Also, tatami, they have a pretty distinctive smell, especially in the beginning, and which is like a little bit of hay, if you know how that smells. So if you don't particularly like that, you might want to keep them in the basement or somewhere. Floor gang, yeah. Floor gang. Are you a Bayern Munich fan? Yeah. Actually, I am. Or I used to be more, especially as a kid, way more. So Bayern Munich, for those who don't know, is a soccer club. It's the record champion in Germany. And they even won the Champions League last year. And as a kid, I was a pretty big fan. I had like their shirts and so on. And when they lost to Manchester United in 1999 in Champions League finals, in the last minutes, It was like 1-0 for Munich, and then they turned it around by 2 corner kicks to a 2-1 loss. There I was devastated. I don't know if I was crying, but probably. At least I felt like it. Yeah, and you know the smell living in the countryside. I do. Jasivadas is still cooking for lunch. Excellent. Let me know what you have. When I got mine, they didn't even accept the passport as a proof. Needed to call home to get my family to send me some old proof of employment. Was a real hassle. Oh God, sounds terrible. Yeah, thankfully I didn't have to do that. Maybe I even asked them if it's okay or not before I went, but probably not. Let me have another bite. When I was in Japan for a month in 2019, I slept in several futons. 2 of them were very uncomfortable, but one of them was extremely comfy. Not sure why. All of them were on tatami mats. I also don't know why. Have you learned to love or appreciate baseball yet? No. I have no idea about the rules or like anything. I mean, obviously I know there's something like a home run, but that's about it. And yeah. Sapporo beer, some say it's a pretty good one, better than Kirin or Suntory. Yeah, I think it's okay, but it says this perfect balance between malt and hops gives you a great drinking experience from the very first sip to the last. Well then. They will win this year easily. This is about Bayern Munich at the Champions League, I guess. Yeah, let's see. Did they? I checked the news page on the weekend, I think. Or was it yesterday? And they were back like 1-0. That's all I remember for the recent past. So I'm not following soccer a lot recently, especially since I moved here. I moved here in 2016, so back then was the European Championship. And it's really hard to follow from here because it's at night, the games. If you give in the future a name to your Watchers community, Floor Gang is a viable option. Yeah, if I don't know. I mean, I never thought about it. Journeymen, I guess. Journey people. Just people who don't have enough money to buy a futon. Yeah. Hi, sir, says Mr. King. King, sir? No, Majesty, Your Majesty. Interestingly, my name is Johannes, right? And once I went to an event called the YouTube Hanami, which is Hanami, so watching flowers, sakura, cherry blossoms, and getting like wasted with YouTubers or people interested in YouTube. And I introduced myself to another guy. What's his name? The Other Side of Miso or something. He said, hey, I'm his name. And then I said, Johannes. And he's like, did you just say Your Highness? Like, no, but it was fun. We need you to send Paulana Weizen. No, you need to send me Paulana Weizen. Sapporo beer from my neck of the woods. Great Genghis Khan. Or Genghis Khan, Japanese. Food. Food. Okay. Sorry. I got it. I think I never had Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is like goat, I think, on a grill. Yes, in Japanese, Genghis Khan. Do Japanese people like football? By which we mean soccer, of course, as Europeans. Yeah, I think so. But they like a lot. So there's J League, which is I think the soccer organization, and of course the women's team is really strong. But I think they won the world championship. When was that? I forgot. But maybe 2015 or so, and then got like second place the time after that, maybe. Women are strong, and there are some pretty famous players as well, and they're well known. Like if somebody makes it to the Bundesliga, like Kagawa-san or so, then everybody knows them, I think. So Kagawa Shinji plays for Dortmund, or played for Dortmund, I don't know. And that's why people here know him and Dortmund. Iniesta is there, as I remember. Ah, I see. I didn't know. I know that at least Lukas Podolski, who used to play in the German national team, also transferred to Kobe. I'm not sure if he's still here, though. I somehow watch more Japanese soccer than German. Also have my FC Tokyo tricot shirt here. Wow. I didn't even know an FC Tokyo exists. And I watch zero Japanese soccer. Amefutto is unfortunately, the beer. It's like I drank this much. It's unfortunately not very popular in Japan. Yes, I don't. Yes. What's Amefutto? By the way, something I want to ask you. So, as you know, I don't make so many videos recently, so maybe once a month or so, but I like them a lot because at least I think for the last 4 videos maybe, so the last one, My Day in My Life, then the Snow Japan, Winter Japan thing with my friend Victor, the Kofun video, the keyhole shape tomb thing, and the room tour of this area here. I like them all. And it's like on the quality where I can show it to people. And that's also in part of because it takes me so long. Because, for example, after the last video, I did nothing for a week. And then yesterday, day before yesterday, I started scripting the next video, which will be a Q&A. So I actually even script that. So it's kind of slow, but I think that it's something one might be able to look forward to because it's like the quality might be higher, hopefully on point and so on. And accordingly, I'm a little bit more picky when it comes to collaborating. So Victor was special because we've known each other since 2017. And then there was a long time we didn't meet, like for 2 years. And then in the end of 2019, I think, maybe November, so we met again and then met like through the last year and always said like, yeah, one day we should do something. And then we finally did. So that was super nice. And he's a great guy. And it was really great to also have his footage to work with because he has a totally different view maybe and focuses on different things. So I have a wider variety of shots to choose from. And essentially I'm looking for people like Victor. And if you know anybody you would like to see me work together with, then please, if you have any idea or a suggestion, share with me. That's my request. NFL American football. Ah, I see. That's where the Ame is coming from, not from Candy or Rain. I see. American football. Yeah, I'm also not watching that ever. They were really good. I'm missing the context now. Maybe the Japanese women's team. Hello, Benjamin. Adelina was also here before. Good to see Moments with Nick is back YouTubing after 3 years break. Really? Yeah, excellent. So this goes well in line with what I said and what Nick just commented. Quality over quantity for sure. Yes. Be it a month or 3 years, you know, quality needs time. I enjoyed your last video very much. These 4 brought me to your channel actually. Oh, great. Thank you. That's really great to hear. Yeah, it's so over the last year, it was like a little bit like 2020. I wanted to make 1 video every week, but then it kind of caught up with the quality. So it was a little bit like a burden and also stressful to actually meet this schedule that I imposed on myself. So then I took it slower and eventually, yeah, we're here. It's like once a month. That's my promise. Quality over quantity. But these Premiere event chats are a great addition. Yeah. I also agree. I found this by coincidence, actually. It's a pretty new feature that you can have like the live stream, and then once it ends, it will forward people to the Premiere. So that's really nice. And maybe it even helped the video. I don't know, though. And actually, I could, from the live stream, I could forward to the Premiere and then from the Premiere to another live stream. So in theory, we could then continue talking about the video and so on. And Moments with Nick says he's not really back, though. Why? And now I need to check your channel again. Liverpool signed Japanese player Minamino. It was a marketing step, I think. He got so big, such a big shout out. Okay. Liverpool. Klopp. Be sure that there's a story to tell and not only a release schedule to fulfill. Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course. I mean, some of them were just like, I don't really like them a lot. And now at least every video I make is something I say, yeah, that's good. I can show this to people without being like embarrassed or something. Benjamin, yeah. That's the what's that monkey thing? Do you still have snow in Nagano? No. So we had snow, when was that? On Wednesday and Thursday last week. And I think it might snow again. Let me check. Maybe not here in Nagano City, but like it's a little bit. Oh yeah, it is. No, that's a different place. Sorry. Nagano City is no snow this week, but a place not too far from here will have snow. So probably. So Nagano City is in a valley, and you see the mountains everywhere, and then you see also the snow line coming down. So it might be like just a couple of like 50 meters above or so. So no snow right now. Might come back though. Last year I came to Nagano when we lived still in Yokohama. I came to my mother-in-law in Nagano on March 14th, and it was snowing. And then really got more. So that was nice because I like snow. And there's almost no snow in Kanto, Tokyo area. Usually it was like, since I moved there, it was 1 day a year. Actually, 2018, I moved in December 2017, then 2018 was like the biggest snow in like forever. And I loved it. And we got like so many emails at work, go home now. Public transportation might stop working. Did you watch the last World Cup? Japan, the big impact on me, almost got to quarterfinals. I didn't, I think. No, I didn't, because I'm a German. And if you remember how the Germans did, then you know why I stopped watching pretty quickly. Rolling back to Futong for a short question. Do you may know your Futong's layers, and if it is a cotton only or mixed with more layers? I have no idea. I guess it's mixed. So the one I had first was pretty thin and so on. And essentially, if you were not lucky, then you were laying on the floor. That was definitely, not definitely. That was probably just just cotton and then nothing else. And the one now is a little bit more, has like maybe this thick and is a little bit more spongy. So I guess there is something else in there, not just cotton. The best things about Hokkaido: it has few earthquakes and typhoons, and there is 4 distinct seasons. Yes, but everybody says in Japan there are 4 distinct seasons. Yeah, it's like describe Japan with 5 words. Japan has 4 distinct seasons, which for Germans is pretty unspectacular because Germany also has 4 distinct seasons. But actually, you get asked that by Japanese, and for some people, it's something special. For example, I guess for people from Australia or California, so where it's more or less constantly warm. A few big earthquakes in Hokkaido. Yeah, maybe. I mean, also Nagano, not so many earthquakes here. Yeah, John asked, did you feel the recent earthquake in Nagano? So there was a big earthquake in front of Tohoku. There were an aftershock of the 2011 earthquake, same place, 7 point something. No, nothing. Felt nothing. Didn't get an alarm on the phone. Just the next day, then on Twitter and so on, I saw a lot of people writing about that. But nothing. Yeah, here. Yeah. When we moved to Yokohama, there were a lot more earthquakes than here, actually. A lot of small ones, like some things were shaking. But since we moved here, I think we had one, very small. And in the total time, because I lived in Nagano for 1.5 years before, it was also like 3 very soft ones. So Nagano, if you maybe know, there's this so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, like this line that goes like the Pacific coast of Japan. So there are a lot of earthquakes because a lot of plates touch, especially around Tokyo, unfortunately, like 3 or so. But Nagano is in the center of the main island, so there's not so much here. Are there earthquakes in Germany? I think there was an earthquake like in 800 or so, or even prehistoric. I think it was prehistoric. There was an earthquake once, 5 point something or more, where a lot of people died because it's not made for that. No, there are not earthquakes in Germany. Germany is totally safe when it comes to that. So people actually, I think that's the main reason why people build with bricks. And I astounded to hear the Japanese do like this wooden thing. But obviously, if you would build a brick and mortar house here without any special measures, then there's an earthquake and then it cracks, and that's it. Intensity 3 only in Sapporo. Japanese people don't even react if not above 3.5. I think you can you even feel that? Maybe not. I mean, 3 is a 3 on Richter scale, right? So I don't think you can feel that. And yeah, I mentioned it before. The strongest one I ever experienced was here, actually in Nagano, when I was seeing my wife, back then girlfriend, for the first time. And we made a road trip and just came back, just parked the car in front of the house. And then you hear the sounds like of things shaking. And I thought somebody's letting down the blinds or something, but didn't stop. And maybe then the dogs start barking. And my wife came over and just like, like, wow, that's an earthquake. It was pretty strong, actually. It was 6.5, pretty close to Nagano. A lot of things broke, like roads and so on. And there's the big temple here, Zenkoji. And there are also like things tipped over and all that. Don't know if anybody died. Hello, man. Hello, Kusudi. Good to have you here. Europe builds for isolation, Japanese build for earthquakes. Yeah, I mean, Europe is cold and Japan is earthquakey. How's everything? Good, good. And for you? The one that hit 2 weeks before was huge. Yeah. I mean, not here, but yes. There actually was a tiny earthquake here in my part of Germany 2 weeks ago, but it was like the magnitude of, like on magnitude 1.3. Yeah, I didn't even notice it and learned about it after the fact. Yes, exactly. So Germany has no Noteworthy earthquakes. I experienced a 7.0 earthquake 5 days after I arrived the first time. Not something I wish to repeat. Yeah. I mean, the first time this one was outside and was new, first time feeling that, and I didn't feel unsafe at all because I was outside. So I was like, okay. But then, of course, it wasn't a 7.0, which is pretty strong, right? It's like almost exponential on the Richter scale from a 6.5. And I also was not in a building. So if I was in a building, probably not so fun. And if I was in a skyscraper, even less fun. I have a friend who works in Roppongi, and he was also working in Roppongi in 2011. I think maybe his office moved there after, but he was in a skyscraper, pretty high up. And then if you have an earthquake of that magnitude, 9, and you're in a skyscraper, of course they're built for that, but they shake right to absorb this. It must be terrible. But he said when he looked around, the other people, Japanese secretaries and so on, they just continued because whatever, what do you want to do, right? I mean, you can't make it down the stairs in time anyway. Something happens, so just might as well continue working. But have you seen? I saw some videos from the last earthquake, like a bar, everything bam, done, and then all this, somebody holding his what was it, microwave oven and things that's earthquakes. So thankfully, this monitor is now attached to this table and not standing alone anymore. So hopefully, this one won't break. The computer's on the ground anyway, and so on. So probably, if something happens here, if it's not super terrible, then it's okay. Is your wife Japanese? Yes, she's Japanese. And I'm eating lunch, dinner, by the way. Speaking of earthquakes and all the other ways Japan tries to kill you, do you think the looming risk of death is why Japanese love stories always end with one or both main characters dying? What? Do they? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of drama, but is always somebody dying? I don't know. I don't know if always probably somebody's dying, but the main character, I have no idea. I mean, obviously it's all a little bit over the top, too much. A very a distinctive style. But yeah, I can't really comment. But the last time I watched a drama was actually about rugby. So nobody died, I think. I didn't watch it to the end. Did you meet your wife in Germany, or were you dating her over in Japan? And is dating over there super different? No. Yes. If that answers your question. Next one. Just kidding. So we met the first time when I came to Japan, the first time in 2009. But I came for an Aikido seminar, not for my wife or for meeting women. And she also participated but just for 2 days out of a week. So I just essentially noticed her and acknowledged she was there, but we didn't communicate or anything. And then 4 years later, she came to Germany also for a seminar, and I also was there. And this time we were both there for the whole week. And then we started to get to know each other. And then after that, I came to Japan. So it was never really dating. It was okay, we like each other. We Skyped after that for quite some time, for a year or so. And so it was not dating, I guess. It was why are you coming to Japan? Ask her mom when she met me back then, which is already not so common, to do with a guy you're not even in a relationship with. And I said for her, and she didn't really get it. But I came for her, and it wasn't really dating, I think. It was that. So I can't really comment on Japanese dating because I came for my wife, who became my girlfriend almost immediately. And so no, she's my wife, so I don't date. So it's a no answer. My wife always says, because death is beautiful. Ah, I see. They simply look at life and death differently, colored by the world they live in. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, also there's like this, what's the word? This image of like sakura also, cherry blossom. So beautiful in one moment, and then just a couple of moments later it's gone and makes space for the spring to come, the green after that. And soon there will be cherry blossom again. So I'm already making a plan. Actually, I can show you. This one here, this is my whiteboard with video ideas. And this one here is for cherry. Can you hear me? So this is my whiteboard for video ideas. And this one here is for cherry blossom. So I'm thinking about doing something like, what's the title? 6 best off the beaten path cherry blossom viewing spots. That's a mouthful. So I'm considering doing something like this in like central Japan style, where you can go where not everybody else goes, or not tourists. Maybe Japanese people will, because when there's cherry blossoms, people will come. Yeah, but this is a consideration. Not sure if I can actually make it work, because then I have to go to 6 different places, which means essentially 6 weekends, but it's not that long. So maybe it doesn't work. But that's a plan, at least. I'm trying to do it. Are you not living together? Because I can see her in your video. Yeah, she's not here actually. But we're living together. No, yeah, she doesn't usually appear on video. She doesn't like to, even though she actually studied filmmaking. And then during studying that, she felt like she actually spent a lot of time alone in a room in front of a computer, editing stuff and so on. And she doesn't like that. So then she became a florist. And she's not interested in doing that. And today she's actually not here. So she and my kids went to my mother-in-law's house, because tomorrow is a holiday. So they will stay there and do something fun, while I will be here and work. She's secretive Japanese wife. She doesn't enjoy being on camera. Yeah. So the last live stream, she walked like through it once. So proof there's actually a real wife. When will the Q&A video be released? I'm not sure. So I'm scripting it right now. And then I don't know. So usually, since I do the 1 month cycle, probably 2-3 weeks. Yeah. So even for Q&A, I take like forever. Because think about it, like I just sitting in one place and having the same angle like this one, that's not entertaining. So then I think like, okay, how can I make this fun? And how can I make this entertaining? And like have a couple of changes here and there, like location changes. Maybe have a couple of progression, story, going from one place to another. And that's why it takes a little bit longer. Ooh, cherry blossom. One day I want to see it in real life and not only on videos. Yeah, it's great, actually. I would have never thought. Because in Germany, right, we have cherry trees, we have cherry blossom. And I thought, like, what's so special? And it's just not the same, because everything is here. And it turns out everything is a cherry tree. And it's like everywhere is like these huge flowers. Flowers, not flowers, clouds of flowers, cherry blossoms. And it's fantastic. And then the people go there, and it's also like, it's really like, this is like, cherry blossom is the line between winter and spring. Like, boom, spring. It's like, yes, now it's warm. And then it gets super hot and humid. Better taking forever than disliking their own work while releasing it. Certainly. Totally true. By the way, John, since you asked about the QA video, so the whiteboard you just saw, that will be part of it, because so John asked for the steps, the steps it takes me to make a video and how long each of the steps is. And this whiteboard is essentially all the steps. So I have like a post-it, which is a video idea, and then goes through all the different, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 steps and 3 milestones. And then it's done. Yeah, so side note, so it's coming. It's a little bit, I'm not really sure about the balance yet. So there are a couple of random questions. Then it's a big focus on work, finding a job in Japan or things like that. And probably I'll just touch like 3 or so of them to make it not too one-sided. And then there's John's question, which requires a really long answer. So that tips it a little bit to one direction. I considered making it 2 videos, but then it's even more one-sided on the one video. It will be just John's question. And I also considered making John's question, because he's also Patreon, because he's also a Patreon supporter, I considered making John's question part of a Patreon-only video. But probably I will just throw it all into one and still need to find something to make it balanced. Here's an idea for a video. How Japanese does hobbies? Interesting. It is allowed to go all in on a hobby without being weird until you cross into otaku. Yeah, interesting video idea. Yes, difficult one, because I can talk about it, of course, like sitting here like this, but it would be much more interesting to talk with Japanese, right? Like somebody who really, really loves trains, for example, like his passion, and then maybe somebody who likes martial arts and somebody who likes manga. So like 3 people or so asking the same questions, getting a different picture and showing how they live and so on. That would be a great idea. Sorry for annoying questions, says Kuzuri. No worries at all. It's all welcome. You could use project management for each video. Whiteboards look very low-tech. Ha! No. It's the it's the satisfaction of moving it forward physically, the progress. I considered using project management boards like Trello or something, but I don't want that. I want something I always can see, and like it's there, we're here, and then I do that. Actually get up off from my desk and move it forward. Hobbies and Japanese people. I remember a lot of also older people just doing baseball and golf swing movements when they were waiting for the train. Yeah, true. And also sometimes you see them in front of their house with a golf club, like swinging it. Obviously, they cannot shoot golf balls into like the neighbor's house, but they're standing there. Especially Nagano has a lot of golf, what's the word? Place thing, where you do ranges, maybe. And a lot of shops are around this place also, like everywhere in Nagano. It's used golf stuff and new golf stuff and all that. And then you go up the mountain, what's there? A rugby field or golf. Are you ever try Indian food? So there are, yes. So in Japan, here I go to an Indian restaurant about once a week. It's like Japanese Indian, so it's not basmati rice or so. It's kind of weird rice actually in this one. So usually the set I take is then not with rice but naan. As far as I understand, naan is not actually very common in India. At least that's what the Indians at work tell me. They say we eat roti. But I like it, yeah. I eat Indian food every now and then. I think it's an Indian family that runs it, so there must be some kind of authenticity. And sometimes you see a really big package from India shipped by boat, by ship, shipped by ship in the entrance. So it must have some kind of authenticity, but I guess it's also adapted to the Japanese taste. But yes, I try Indian food and I like it. I don't so much like Japanese curry though. So they say Indian curry, which is everything like dal and actual curry and chicken curry and so on. Everything that's the Indian curry, and then there's Japanese curry or curry, just curry, and that's something I don't like. Good answer, says John. Thank you. Sometimes it's good old analog is the best. Naan means roti that eat with curry. I see. But it tastes different, right? Naan here is made from wheat, and roti seems to be like something else, if I remember. And the one I get here is like this big. Wish you all a good evening day, my friends, and Japanese journey. Thank you, Cartillo, and good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Indian curries are the best. Yeah, I agree. So what do you think? How many times have I made curry since I moved to Japan? Zero times. Because especially my older one loves curry. It's like, what do you want to eat tonight? Curry. And you mean it's Japanese curry. But you had it yesterday. I want curry. But I don't like it, so yeah, we don't get it. How has Japan been with food delivery services? With the explosion in the West, do Japanese use Uber Eats or others? Or do they prefer takeout? So Uber Eats actually started also in Nagano City. Can you believe it? Like, it's such a small city, just 370,000 people. But it's here now as well. And yeah, we even used it in Tokyo for delivering something to the office. And it's there. It's here. It's successful, I guess, because we see it. It's here. It's expanding. Just the other day, we got something delivered, I think yesterday, from Domino's Pizza. So that's also there. Pizza Hut only exists as delivery service, I think, exclusively probably. No restaurants, as far as I know. So it's there, yeah. And takeout is also here. So Starbucks has takeout, McDonald's has. That's the two. And other burger places, maybe. But generally, I think delivery is a little bit more common. You can also deliver sushi, but takeout maybe doesn't happen so much. I sometimes go to, there's a yakiniku place I like. It has like Wagyu, not yakiniku. Yakiniku is like Korean barbecue. And yeah, we don't go there right now because of Corona, but we often get takeout. It's super expensive, costs like $25 per bento. But yeah, we do takeout as well. I thought 1 to 3 times. What was the context? How many times I cooked curry. I'm living in Saga. Oh, hope we will meet soon. Yeah, I actually wanted to go to Kyushu since forever, but I've never been. So Saga Prefecture is in Kyushu, and Saga City as well, I think. There's also another YouTuber in Saga called Lightsmith, I think is his channel name right now. And we started maybe not around the same time, but he had like more subscribers than I had, but wasn't growing a lot. And then I grew more, and then he exploded all of a sudden, and now he has more subscribers again. And he's also an interesting guy. And if I ever go to Kyushu, maybe I might make a video with him. 300,000 people. I'm lucky with 700 people in my village. Oh, I see. Yes, yeah, but also Nagano City has the area of Berlin, which has, I don't know, 3 million or something, or 4. I have no idea actually, but something around that in that ballpark. And Nagano, same area, 1/10 of that. But actually, there's also a mountain included. Yes, Lightsmith. Yeah, exactly. He changed his name a couple of times. Like before, it was Japanese Library, and before that, it was just Light, I think. But it's not a competition. It's not a competition. But certainly, he's very productive with his work. Yeah. He pumps out the videos. Certainly, if I can at some point get the current quality into like weekly uploads or bi-weekly, as in every other week, then I will surpass him again. Yeah, we actually also somewhere, I think we already said like we should make a collaboration. I think I messaged him or commented or so. He said yes. I think it was just when I realized he was exploding, but he was still smaller than me. So I think eventually, hopefully, we can do it. But I'm sure Nagano looks way more beautiful than Berlin. I guess it depends where you look. You know Romromji? Yeah, Romromji. Romromji is an Indian YouTuber. Oh, no, I don't. Let me search. Romromji. And also I need to search travel with Nick. Made a new upload. What does Romromji do? Ah, so he's also living in Japan. Eh? Oh, I share my crazy and fun experiences here. He's so big already. Wow. And he's been doing it for 3 years. So this person grew much faster than I did. He lives in Nara. I see. I will take a look at this video. Being Desi Indian in Japan, clubbing in Tokyo. Oh, really important topics. How to get Japanese girls in Japan. I'm looking at his first videos ever. I don't know what it looks like now. Wait. Snowboarding 1-on-1. That's good. Yeah, first I can see that. First time ever snowboarding. Yeah, I have a couple of colleagues that also like come here and see snow for the first time. Must be amazing. Indian restaurant in Japan. I see. Japanese house tour. Yeah, that always brings views. Excellent. I honestly think the secret is to focus a little more on the local content to your area that only you can show, because there are too many channels doing generic Japanese content. Yeah, I also think so. So I once, last year, I talked to another big YouTuber, and he also recommended like focus on showing the places I like, and then every now and then, for good measure, throw in like the view bringers, you know, like love hotels, or he suggested actually capsule hotels or vending machines or whatever, you know, maybe give it a new twist. Or something that also always brings views is what not to do in Japan, like all the ways you can fuck up. Yeah, apartment tours, of course, there will be another one. House tour. I think my third most successful video is house tour, Japanese house tour. That also works well. There will be another one day, maybe in the first half of the year. Not of this place, but of another one, of a model house. Also, really unfortunate. I searched, like when I still lived in Yokohama, what could I show? I searched, and then I found like this place which has the only waterfall in central Tokyo. And it's artificial, but it's in the park of a hotel. So I thought like, it's okay to film there. So I reached out to the hotel, and then we had a lot of back and forth and make appointments, and didn't work out and so on. And eventually they said, yeah, maybe just to make sure you get the best experience, you should stay in our suite, our $300 per night suite, just to make sure. And I'm like, yeah, okay, just this one time I do it. And then like a week or so before, or 2 weeks before, I got this disease. It like really hit me, and then I couldn't go, unfortunately. So we're like in the position still where they said, okay, if you're okay again, then let us know. But it was really unfortunate. By the way, is your workplace bilingual or only Japanese speaking? It's bilingual, tendency English. So my team requires English, but not all teams do. Or like it a certain, if you drift into a certain part of the company, then it becomes very Japanese very quick. My favorite non-Japanese content has always been that everyday living stuff, like Chris Broad's very early videos, or the thing Texan in Tokyo did. Yeah, also, I think, Chris Broad's videos are still great. I mean, the way he upped his game when it comes to quality is unbelievable. And he's still fun and all that, and like British. And I also really liked his first videos, which were already pretty good for first videos, must say. And of course, yeah, because it was like episode 1 coming to Japan, and 2 was then Culture Shock and so on. So it was like really, really entertaining. Texan in Tokyo, I didn't really watch so much back then, but I think they are still all online, even though they quit like 3 years ago. Haitani, the Japanese toilet episode with his the girlfriend was one of his best. Haitani. Where was that? I need context. This one. Did you mean the one, like, what was that? I forgot it. Like the worst thing in Asia or something was the title. It's like 2 minutes or so. And Chris Broad from abroad in Japan. It's a big channel. Like swearing in the car because he needs a toilet, and then he runs into a building. And what he finds, that's something you have to look up now. I don't want to steal his views. And the pun. Yeah, you get it. There was the one where he had to use a bidet. No, that's not actually a bidet. Okay, now I spoiled it anyway. So he stops somewhere, he runs into a building, and then what he finds is not a Western style toilet, but a Japanese one, which means you have to squat. And it's unusual, to say the least, for Westerns. Yeah, that's the one. I think this was one of his first kind of viral or so successes, when I remember correctly. Yeah. And he seems to be a really nice guy. For example, Victor is good friends with him, and he says only positive things. So yeah, maybe one day we can also have a drink together. Yeah. What else should we talk about? Yeah, so now spring is coming again. It's warm right now. Tomorrow it will be cold again. But, we're getting there. And I'm already getting excited. So last year was pretty nice. As you may remember, I was in Nagano as well from March. And then often in the morning, I would like wake up at 5, take my mother-in-law's bike and go somewhere and film. And that was nice. It was not the most productive time back then, but the videos of this period, most of them are some I like, especially the one about learning Japanese, because it's called MIA, or was called MIA. Now it's called different. It's called Refold now. But this approach, there are a lot of people that have like videos where they explain what they do, and it's very long and just they sitting in front of a camera. And I thought, you can make this more entertaining. And that's what I tried to accomplish with that. And I think to some extent it worked. So I like it. And I think it still gets views maybe these days. Something I want to have from Japan is the TV ads. I do not know what it is, but they are so catchy. I see. Yeah, some of them are really funny. What I do like is, compared to Germany, it's really short, the TV ads, but unfortunately then they are more frequent. Another video idea, how taxes and health insurance works and are paid in a convenience store. That's good. Yeah. I mean, convenience store in general is nice. like what you can do there, because you can obviously pay stuff, but you can go to the ATM, which is there, especially with foreign credit cards. When you're at the 7-Eleven, you can pay your concert cards, you can pay your taxes, you can pick up packages, all that. And as far as I know, the YouTube space in Tokyo actually has a fake convenience store set so that you can film there. And since I have more than 10,000 subscribers, actually, I can actually use it. However, right now, one, they are moving from Roppongi to Shibuya, and two, because of Corona, they are closed. So one day it might work out. Off to bed for me. Good night, everyone. Good night, John. Thank you for being here, and have a good one. One of the best ads is the Long Man. I haven't actually seen them on TV ever, I think, probably. But I've seen them online. What a story. And that's it. Long Man. So share with me if you have any other favorite YouTubers, especially if they're Japan-based. So maybe we can do something together also, or at least I can get inspiration and copy them, or try to make it better than they do. Japanese TV is horrible. Yeah, mostly. Depends. Some things I think are funny, but sometimes like the humor is very, I wouldn't say basic, but it's like not too nuanced often. But sometimes it's fun. It's simple, and like, after a hard day's work, then you're just like, oh yeah, let's do something simple and not too difficult. What's the word? Yeah, let's say too difficult. How's the temperature in your prefecture? Generally lower than Tokyo, maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees even. And Nagano city is surrounded by the Japanese Alps, so it's like always beautiful. The air is fresh. In summer it gets super hot and humid also, but at night it gets cooler and then it's super nice. So if there's a matsuri, a festival, and there's a very big one here with like tens of thousands of people and all of the cities dancing, and then it's super hot. It's like, I think, middle of August, 2nd August weekend or so. And then it comes, the evening comes, and then you go off to the other side of Nagano Station, and there's like a smaller festival part, and you go there and relax and eat something, couple of skewers and so on, and it's kind of acceptably hot, really relaxing compared to what's during the day. So that's really nice. That's about the temperature here. In winter it snows. That's also something I like a lot. And you can also go to the mountain and have a lot of snow. So not too far from here, it gets really snowy. And Nagano was also the host of the 1998 Winter Olympics. So that speaks for itself. Did you ever watch how mochi got made in real life? I don't think so. No. I mean, I know how I like hammer and so on, but I never actually saw it in real life, now that you're asking. Even the news has music, so you know how to feel in Japanese TV. Yeah, just in case. Am I the only one who don't get Japanese comedy? I'm studying Japanese and saw the comedy. It doesn't make me laugh. But maybe. I mean, they have this thing where they are very slapsticky. That's pretty clear, I think. But sometimes it's like just way too much. I feel like if they like open like this kind of hidden door and below your feet, and they fall like 5 meters down or something into the dirt, that's like super dangerous. But they laugh. And one I like is there's a comedian called Degawa Tetsuro, I think, and he is he's sent to some countries where they only speak English, like New York, and then he gets a challenge, like find the Statue of Liberty, and he has to find it with his English, which is super limited, and then it's so fun because he's not afraid. He says like, "Do you know like big white doll?" Like, what? A big white doll? It's not white. It's not a doll. It's big. Okay. And then he actually gets there with this English he's capable of. And he's always like, "Be quiet, Todoro. Come on." Like, what? Why so aggressive? But that's so fun to see, especially if you know English. Of course, they have the Japanese subtitles, so the Japanese can also laugh if they don't get English. But yeah, I love this one. And there are a couple of others in this direction, like every quarter or so. And every year there's like Undo Uns Olympics or something that's like people that don't do sport at all, like never, have to do like Olympic categories like jumping and all that. That's also fun if you like that. People embarrassing themselves. Yeah. Have you been able to make friends? Because I'm not. Yeah, to some extent, but not as close as Germany. So my best friends are still German, and there are some friends, some are foreigners, obviously from this YouTube area, because it's easy to make friends in the areas you are in, right? Or you're like interested in. So one is YouTube, and since I'm doing English-speaking YouTube, that's where I find friends. And the other one would be my profession, like technical stuff. And then at work, of course, I also find friends, I think at least. And other than that, I do Aikido, although not so frequently right now because of Corona. And there's also, of course, you can become friends with people. So I think that's where you find them, do something, and then find them. But again, like the friends I have in Germany, like the best friends, where I really can talk about anything, I don't have here. How do you work in Japan if you don't know much Japanese? Is it an English company? Quite curious. So my company is a Japanese company which is global. So and my department I think requires English probably, but I also have. So I'm interviewing a lot of people. No, I have a couple of interviews in Japanese sometimes, and then usually I challenge the candidates to at least make their self-introduction in English. Sometimes they give up during it or so, but yeah, we try our best. But generally, English is preferred to be understood. And then if there's also Japanese, it's really helpful. And of course, there are companies that require just English. Rakuten would be a good example. And then, of course, the international companies, Google, Apple, and so on, depending on the position. But of course, if you know Japanese to a sufficient level where you can talk like appropriately on a business level, then it opens a whole new variety of positions you could apply for. Japanese comedy is pure slapstick reactions or puns. Yes. I mean, there's also like stage comedy where it's pretty close usually. Yeah, you're right. Do you know Serpensa and Laowai86? They mostly do videos and documentaries about China, but had to move to the US due to political unrest. They will make a documentary in the future in Japan. I don't know them. Let me Google them or search them. Serpensa. And Laowai. Thank you for sharing. I will take a look later. Do you know Sky Mama? What? No. But it's in quotation marks, so I don't know. What was the name Tegawa will search up? Tegawa Tetsuro, I think. Literal translation of kanji for aircraft carrier. Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I was surprised how many food-based... I see. Okay. Now I get it, because I talked about Tegawa Tetsuro. Do you know Sky Mama? I was surprised how many food-based TV series there are in Japan. Some of them even ended up on Netflix now. I didn't realize that about Netflix, but yeah, there are a lot, and it's always great. They're always like, it's always tasty. So it would be interesting to see somebody like Gordon Ramsay on Japanese TV and how they would feel about him, like making the Gordon Ramsay thing with the chefs here. Puns, that's what they do over my head. Yeah, puns, puns. Yeah, certainly. I mean, Japanese is a very pun. It's a language that lends itself to be used for puns, and I do them a lot. And my wife is always like, sometimes she laughs, but then she's like, it's not interesting. And yeah, I don't hit the spot most of the time, apparently. Oh, Dreamy Senpai is here again. Do you know Tokyo Lens? His content similar like yours. I don't know him personally, but I know his channel. Yeah, I think I'm even subscribed. And yeah, he's doing well recently, especially, and also improved his production quality a lot over the years. And he's also friends with my friend Victor. They make a lot of road trips together. So yeah, one day maybe we may meet, and then from that might be able to develop something. Or maybe you can just comment on this video, check out Japanese Journey, make a collaboration with him. I do not know if it's a good video idea, but you may do a tips or tricks video for learning Japanese, or how to start with it. It may also apps that are helping for start. I made a video, like, what was that? I forgot what it's called. It's like Japanese materials and how to use them, I think. Essentially, where I said, okay, how I think what you need, something like a voice recorder to actually hear how you're listening, because many of us don't have this awareness of listening to themselves as they speak. And Anki, like a flashcard application that keeps you, shows you what you should learn when, and maybe book like Genki 1 or 2 and how to use that in combination with Anki and things like that. Yeah. So I did that, essentially. Which Japanese pun you tell your wife? Tell us some. Yeah, it's difficult now to come up with something. Essentially, especially since I had a beer. But let me think. A good one is she's like, I'm in the way, and she's like jama, which means like you're in the way. You're not annoying, but like in the way. And I say German dakara, because I'm a German. If that makes sense. And this is one she likes. Sure, man, I will. Okay, I appreciate it, Kuzuri. Thank you. If enough people do it, maybe one day he will notice me. I mean, I could also message him, but not yet. If you want a channel that is only about tips of learning Japanese, check out Chat Zimmerman. I think I already heard this name before, but I will check it. Thank you. Which languages do you speak with? Which language do you speak with your wife? Japanese. The learning Japanese video is very useful. You should watch it. Thank you, Dreamy Senpai. But as kind of laid out, I switched to MIA last year. I was always like, should I really do that? Because it requires so much commitment. And then I did it. And then I got sick and stopped it. But well. Arumi kan no ue ni aru mikan. I see. Okay. So a mikan that's like an orange on top of an aluminum can. That's maybe, yeah, it's a pun. It's hard. It can't be translated. Also recommend Matt vs. Japan for learning Japanese. Yeah, exactly. So Matt vs. Japan is one of the two founders of MIA, which I talked about in another of my videos. And then now they separated, and it's like Migaku and Refold. So two different things. Yeah. Now I have another meatball. And now I dropped 2 meatballs. Mostly on my pants, so that's that. Excuse me for a second. I need to clean up my floor. Yeah, a slice of squash, renkon, that's lotus fruit or something, and a carrot, all in nice sauce on the floor. Where are the meatballs? Not here. Not here. Okay. That's good. Oh, there, yeah. Wait a second. One more moment. Okay. After that, it's only my pants. Ugh. Don't tell my wife. Oh, it's okay. She'll probably laugh. That's a spicy meatball. Bad English joke. That's a spicy beat ball. Yeah, I don't get it. Imagine someone comes to the stream and sees this. Yeah. That's quality content. That is entertainment. That's slapstick, Japanese humor. Learning Japanese with Taka. He is also a very channel to learn Japanese. Learning Japanese with Taka. Taka sounds like a Japanese name. Japanese with Taka. Okay. Hello, Red 1110M. Good to have you here. I just dropped half of my dinner, and now my hands are sticky. That's how it's going right now. How's COVID-19 spread over there? Yeah, numbers are down a lot. It's like 1,100 or so a day now. So that's good. It's still state of emergency in many prefectures, I think, until March 7th, and then we see. Vaccination started last week, first for medical care personnel, and then for elderlies, which is planned from April. Hello, my dear. Just cooking with your brother and enjoying listening to you. Thank you for being here. I watched a live stream of a German messing his pants. No, it's not what you think. Yeah, so last live stream, for some reason, YouTube said it's like 18 plus and demonetized it. So this will happen again now. What do you think of vaccines, and do you plan to get vaccinated? I don't know, actually. So I didn't look so much into them, into the corona vaccines and the potential side effects, because there's not so much known. But since I will be rather in the end, I guess by then I will know and be able to make an informed decision. I stay with the blueberries now. No. Just in case. Yeah, corona. Today I read in Britain they are now preparing to change of strategy or something. They are now preparing to live with the virus. So, okay. I guess, I mean, eventually it may be over, I guess, because that's what happened to previous pandemics as well. But it might also not be, just like flu. How are the corona regulations in Japan at the moment? Some, I think 10 prefectures or so have a state of emergency, which is very limited in comparison to a lockdown. So a lockdown is a lockdown, right? But state of emergency is usually a recommendation. And currently, I think it's you should not go out after 8 p.m. Bars and so on should close at that time. And offices should be at 30% of capacity. After that, it should be 70% should be from home. And that's what I remember. So it's not very limiting, actually. So you can go out, can go to parks, can you even go to cinema, although I guess not many people do. Maybe many people do it, because Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba is like record-breaking all over the place, even though there's corona. So it's possible, definitely, to do the stuff you always used to, although maybe not recommended. Everybody is wearing a mask, of course, and you get all the announcement in supermarket and so on. Please wear masks. It's an inconvenience, but because of corona and so on. That's what you get. And yeah, I think compared to many other regions in the world, it's not very restricted. Is your wife watching you live now? No, most likely not. If she is, will she get angry for messing up the room and your pants? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe she laughs if she sees it. Are there any local Japanese YouTubers you could introduce to us on your channel? Locally, I mean. There was one, like a potter, pottery channel from Hokkaido. Forgot where it was. I think not so far from Sapporo. He was really interesting. I totally forgot the name. That's the one I know. And then I found another one. They like pretty young people. They bought like a super old house and renovated it. It was still pretty in the beginning when I joined them. And I also don't know the channel. So that's the two I remember kind of positively. There was in May, maybe April last year when I found them. Now let me check. So I have a separate channel for Japanese so that it doesn't mess up my recommendations with English when I want to only have Japanese content. So let's see. No. Don't play. Second. Can't find them. Maybe they haven't posted recently, or maybe they even stopped. Imagine even 1 year back in January 20, no one had a worry about Corona, obviously. How the world changed in such a short time. Yeah, actually, my mom, who's listening, came to Japan in December 2019. So it was really like, everything fine and so on. And then this happened. And I remember the beginnings was like, yeah, okay, let's maybe not go to this farewell party and let's do it after a month. Like 1 month later, once all of this is over. Ha ha ha. Didn't work out that well. Currently, I'm dating a Japanese girl. Hope that she will be my wife. Good luck. Kuzuri, with a visible confusion. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Kuzuri. Now, a question about today's topic. How easy or complicated is it to buy a car in Japan? Are there some interesting or different traffic laws in Japan? Yeah, I actually talked about it, I think 2 live streams or so ago. I think the one traffic law that's pretty interesting and different from most areas in the West is if you're on the street, you are responsible. So even if you go straight and somebody hits you from the side, you also get a part of the responsibility, like 30% or so. There's like a guidebook on how insurances will judge how many percent each of them pays. So that's, I think, the biggest one. And there's a little bit of like etiquette, like if people stop to let you in, then usually you do the one blinking thing, like twice. The warning indicating stuff. Beep, 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 beep. Or if they cannot see that, then you might do a small, short honk. That's that. But generally, like, of course, you drive on the left side of the road. Maybe for traffic lights in Germany, usually if you're standing here, then traffic light is up here. But in Japan, it's over there. Maybe that's the same in America. I don't know. For Americans also, I think in America, if you stand at a red light, you might be able to turn right, even though it's red. That's not the case in Japan. Don't do that. Comparing to Europe, yeah, yeah. I'm an like Natsuki from abroad in Japan. I'm missing it. Anyway, Tokyo Lama also did something similar. He and his family bought one of these old Japanese houses and is now renovating it. Yes. He posted a video recently, and it didn't got so many views, and I think it's most likely because of the thumbnail, because it was kind of different from usually. I skipped over it because I really like his content. He only has 24 videos, but it's great. I skipped over it because I didn't realize it was him, unfortunately. And then he posted on Instagram also, and then I went back. But yeah, search Tokyo Lama. It's not actually in Tokyo, he's in Ibaraki, but search him. He's he seems to be very genuine with his content, and it's also interesting if you are into renovating like I am. And what kind of cars or car brands do are Japanese people most going for? Japanese brands are most popular, so the classical ones: Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, and so on. And yeah, so German cars are rather expensive, I think, in comparison, or at least the image is expensive. Yeah, but you also see them. American cars, maybe not so much, every now and then. But generally, I think Japanese cars are what everybody has. Tokyo Lama, yes, Tokyo Lama. Here's another video idea. Make a Japanese video with the locals German speak Japanese type. Ah, yeah. You mean like, oh, this light went off. I didn't realize at all. Battery out of battery. You mean like this German speaking perfect Japanese shocks locals, something like that. Dreamy Semper, I think Risotto's bad English accent will be better with his bad German accent. But yeah, as an example. Yeah, I like Ryotaro. I also like how Chris never pronounces his name correctly. He also always says Ryotaro, or something in that direction. And doesn't even care, I guess. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Daniel. If you don't follow the rules perfectly, then hello ticket. Yeah, I mean, yeah, to some extent, right? Because there's also the rule like drive only 60, but or drive only 80 on the highway. But then actually everybody's like 100, and it's okay. If you're 110, there's like and out. And also, like here inside of the city, it's often signage says like 40, but everybody's doing 50, and the police is standing there. They don't care. But if you're on your phone, or if your seatbelt is not there, if you're driving 53, then it's game over. I've once been stopped when I was in the back seat, I think, and they thought they didn't use the seatbelt, but she was actually having her hand like on top of the belt, like pushing it down a bit, so they didn't see it. And they accepted that and then let us go. That was my one. And another time, that was very nice. I was at the playground with my kid. The policeman came and asked me if the car over there parking outside on the road was mine. So he actually, and then I said yes, because I didn't understand what he was saying. And he asked me to park it somewhere else, and say, I'm sorry, no, that's not mine. But he was actually like not giving me would have not have given me a ticket if I was there and able to park it somewhere else. Eventually, he didn't find the owner and gave it a ticket though. But it's not always like super bad. And you can still take the Geising card and say like, sorry, if you don't speak English or wenn sie nicht Deutsch sprechen, dann weiß ich jetzt auch nicht, was ich mit ihnen machen kann. If you don't speak German, then I don't know what to do with you. I think Tokyo Llama is not really focusing on being a YouTuber, but rather just giving advice and showing how the house is improving. Yeah, but I mean, his content is also viewed by a lot of people. So he has like 170,000 subscribers already. So I guess at some point it's also like he doesn't mind the additional income, the support for his house. In America, you can turn right on red as long as there is no sign that says no turn on red. They can drive pretty crazy in some cities, I see. I bet you don't see too many American pickup trucks here. No, I've seen one once. In a recent podcast on Penguin Zero channel, Chris from abroad in Japan said police tends to arrest random foreigners in Japan for no reason at all. So true, it is just a joke. I don't know about arresting, but I know about checking. I've never been checked though, but it certainly happens. Penguin Zero. Yeah, so that happens. So every morning when I worked in Roppongi, I came up and from the underground and across Roppongi crossing, and there's a Koban, a police station. They're always standing outside or inside, depending on the weather, and looking, and never anything. Sometimes some people are complaining to them or asking something, but not getting checked. I guess it's also depending a little bit on your skin color, unfortunately. So I know some Indian or darker skinned people that are getting asked quite a lot more, but they didn't just act like they don't understand Japanese, and that's it. But randomly arresting, I don't know. I think it's possible. I think they can keep you up to 24 hours without any evidence or so or whatnot, and you don't have the right to call. But I don't know of any such case. How do you think you and your family's life has changed since Corona will change after Corona era is over? I mean, obviously there's changed a lot. So Corona has initiated us to A, stay inside a lot more, and B, move from Yokohama to Nagano, because we don't want to stay inside so much. We want a little bit space especially for the kids. And after Corona, I don't know. I hope at some point later this year, hopefully for Christmas, I can go to Germany again to see my family. Initially, I hoped it would be summer, but I don't think that's realistic right now. And after that, it's really hard to say. Have to exit the stream. Have a nice continuation, everybody. Thank you, Different Games. Thank you for being here for so long. Matane, my friends. It's 9 p.m. now. I have to go for dinner. Okay. Looking at my dinner. Nah. And me for lunch. Okay. Crazy for how international this community is. Yeah. Last time I did the stream in the morning because I thought, okay, there would be evening for Europe, or afternoon or so maybe for America. Would it be? Kind of. And Australia could also be there in the morning, but it was pretty hard for Indian viewers because India is behind 3-5 hours. So that would mean if I start here at 7, it's like 3:30 a.m. So maybe this is the better time. Not sure though. 6 p.m. for Dreamy Senpai. Different. Yeah. I have to leave too, Arminox. Thanks for the fun. Okay. Thank you for being here. I wonder how it would be if you live in Japan as a foreigner, going out for jogging and then getting asked for your papers, which you don't have with you. Yes, you don't, but you must actually. You must carry your residence card if you're a foreigner. And if you're a tourist, then you must carry your passport. If you are naturalized, though, if you are Japanese and look like a foreigner, then you don't have to. So, might still get you in trouble, though. Sayonara says Silhouette FG. We have here 2 p.m. perfect time to watch. Excellent. Germany. or else you gotta pay a huge fine, like $1,000. Maybe, I don't know actually, because I've never been checked, so I didn't read the law. I always catch up late to your live streams. When do you usually live stream so I don't continue to join late? It's hard to say. So usually when the children are asleep, so like 9 p.m. and rather spontaneous, because sometimes I also fall asleep, and then it would be like a bummer if I schedule something and it doesn't work out. So children are asleep, then I need to make the thumbnail, which takes way too long, like 1 hour, even though it's like kind of not a lot of thought in there. It takes like an hour. I need to take a picture of myself, find something that fits the topic, find the topic, find the title, and then do that. And then usually it's like 9 p.m. So that's why we have the short notice usually. And this delayed live streams. And sometimes when I know my family might be somewhere else or so, or I can get up early, then I can do it in the morning and schedule it early and all that. But yeah, usually around 9 p.m. I would say, without having a strict schedule. Yeah. Now, oh wow, already more than 2 hours. Oh my God. This means it's the longest live stream ever. But now, since so many people already left, I would say, and I have to work tomorrow, I would say I ignore this this request from Dimi Senpai to sing more in my videos, and slowly call it a night. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, singing in videos. Maybe one day I do a karaoke video or something. No singing, says Daniel. There we go. Now it's 50-50. So I slowly call it a night. Thank you all for being here and being part of the community, supporting and all that. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know when the next stream will be, but I guess it won't be too long. Yes, that's it, I think. Yeah, I need to clean up my floor. Okay. Also, yeah, good rest, good night, take care, stay safe. And yeah, like I said, thank you for watching, and then see you next time.